There have been a series of cyber attacks over the last couple of weeks at water facilities and hospitals. Joining us right now to talk about protecting the nation's cyber infrastructure is Neuberger. She is White House Deputy National Security Advisor for Cyber and Emerging Technology. And why don't you give us just the lay of the land right now? We know about these recent attacks that I think are backed by the Iranians. Are we seeing an increased number of attacks from nation states?
Good morning to you. Yes, so critical services like hospitals, like water systems around the country are facing persistent attacks from hostile countries and criminals. It's a high priority here at the White House. We've been surging actionable intelligence and advice on how to tackle it. And we really need the partnership of both the companies and the small local and state governments who own this infrastructure to take on and tackle that threat together.
Yeah, definitely important to get the word out. But have we seen heightened attack from nation states like Iran? Because you hear about this, and with the timing of the war in Israel and Iran's involvement to some extent in what may have been taken place beforehand, is this a situation where those attacks on our infrastructure have stepped up in the aftermath?
Last week, we did see an increase in Iranian government attacks against water systems. We've been focused on the particular threat, though, to water systems for the last couple of years. So last year, the EPA issued a rule to state governments asking them to deepen cybersecurity practices for water systems. Due to litigation, that rule had to be pulled back. So now we're using that to double down on it. And I want to note that particularly in the case of the water systems, some of these attacks, we believe, are preventable by good cybersecurity practices, good passwords, and putting in place a lot of practices that don't cost money like that to really lock those digital doors of those critical infrastructure systems.
How safe should Americans feel just in terms of drinking the water, going to a hospital?
Americans should feel absolutely safe in the safety of their water systems and absolutely in going to hospitals. However, we do need to really lock our digital doors. I want to emphasize that there's been really good work over the last couple of years by private companies, by state and local governments in really improving our cybersecurity. But these hostile and persistent attacks by both countries like Iran and criminals who are attacking critical services and companies, costing the economy billions of dollars, are a wake-up call for CEOs, for executives to sit down, ask their leadership teams, what are we doing? What have we done to lock our digital doors? Are we applying the practical guidance the federal government is regularly issuing, using those toolboxes and guidebooks on the things that need to be done to ensure critical services are safe?
You talk to CEOs, and they will tell you that this is persistently one of the top issues, maybe one of the top three issues that they are concerned about, that they are dealing with. And my sense is that some of the bigger companies are spending lots and lots of money on this. Do you worry about smaller entities that maybe don't have quite the same resources, or is this a problem for the bigger companies because they're the ones who are more likely to draw an attack?
It's really a problem, of course, like our economy. Our top priority are critical services. And for those, a lot of the things that need to be done don't cost a lot of money. Things like changing default password, things like making sure that administrator access is carefully controlled. There are things that could be done today that don't cost money that would really make critical services far safer. And that's why we've been working so closely with both small and medium-sized companies, with state and local governments. The administration has made resources available, has made practical guidance available, and is really deepening that partnership and calling for those companies and those governments to step up and work with us in partnership so we can tackle this. We really believe it's a threat. While a persistent and difficult one, we can be in a better place with just locking and bolting our digital doors.
And I think I've always felt somewhat safe because I figure there are a lot of things you in the White House and at the top levels of corporations know that you're not telling me. Should I assume that? Things that you are working on that should make me feel safe?
There's a role, to your point, for government in this, in really focusing on the most significant national threats. There's really a role for the private sector and small governments. We're doing all we can here and continuing to double down and do more. The partnership of companies in really putting in place these practices is what's going to make a difference. This is not a problem the government can solve on its own. This is a problem that partnership will make a difference, and we're committed to it. And companies should consider this a wake-up call to take that advice, reach out to their local FBI, local CISA officials, bring together their leadership teams and say, what have we done to ensure that we're applying this, we're patching systems well, that we understand our risks, and we're doing what needs to be done to be safe online.
Do we know, I mean, these attacks on the water systems from the Iranian government, the attacks we've heard recently from some criminals on companies like Clorox and some of the casinos, is that the bulk of what's happened recently, or have there been other things that have been not been made public?
Cyber attacks are costing our economy and economies around the world billions of dollars, both in theft of important data and in disrupting critical services. You mentioned two key sectors. This is it is a persistent threat. We've made a lot of progress in securing digital infrastructure. The president's made it a priority. He's pressed to ensure the government is getting out all the information it has, both about threat as well as about good practices that are effective. But clearly these recent attacks show that there's more that needs to be done.